What's up? This is your esoteric Essa, aka your esoteric homegirl Jasmine. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. If you are new, thank you for coming and welcome. In today's video, I am going to be going over the numerology numbers of Miss Beyonce, Miss Carter, and Jay-Z, and we're going to go in depth in the spiritual connections the two of them share, why they're so similar yet so different, and why they work, and the past life karmic debt that they have brought in together in union so they can supersede in a spiritual level. So stay tuned. Alright, so let's get right into it. Now, we are all familiar with Jay-Z and Beyonce's kind of love affair, tumultuous relationship that they have experienced in this incarnation, and it's interesting how they've been able to work it out, right, and have kind of used that to their advantage in a marketing perspective and through their music. Now, I want to get into why that sort of came out into play in this lifetime for them, and I want to get into both of their respective spiritual numbers. So Jay-Z is operating from a life path of 5 and under the essence of an ace, and Beyonce is operating from a life path 5 as well under the essence of a 7. So in divination numerology, aces and 7s are very spiritually inclined numbers, so their essences are just filled with spiritual energies. Now, they both carry the same life path numbers of 5. 5s are inclined to wanting freedom, wanting a sense of not experiencing anything that holds them in boundaries. They might have a lot of restless energy if they're unbalanced, and sometimes that can lead them astray, in particular with relationships. But for the most part, when balanced as a 5 energy in your life path, you like variety of life and adventures, hence why they travel so much, and they travel together. Now, the interesting thing is they both carry a 4 vibration as their actual birth date, the number on the day of. So she is September 4th and he is December 4th. So they carry that grounded energy of the 4 stability carrying on both sides to help them hopefully balance out the restlessness of that 5 energy. Now, this is why they're so common yet so different. And again, it comes down to where we're at spiritually in our evolutions, right? So the two of them came in with 3 spiritual incarnation life contracts that they needed to fulfill from past lives into this life, and ultimately to help them grow together. Since they're both operating at very high frequencies of spiritual numbers, they really needed each other to assist each other in their soul's growth. Now, Jay-Z is operating from an ace, and that, if we're unbalanced, can be a very isolated energy to be working with, a very lonely number to be working with. A lot of times can result in sort of promiscuity in our relationships. And also, one thing to note, people who have aces in their essence tend to go into either long distance relationships or relationships in where it's convenient for them to see people as according to their needs when they want to come and go. But you'll find people with that essence end up getting into relationships where either their significant other is traveling a lot, or they themselves are traveling a lot, or together in unionship they're traveling a lot. So it's really interesting to see that they're always on tour now together, and their kids are on tour together. And I didn't get a chance to look into their 3 children's natal charts to see how that has played out in astrological influences for them. Being on tour with their parents all the time and growing up on the road life. Anyways, this is why they're traveling so much together, and now they're realizing they can make more money together because they do have strong spiritual numbers that can make them make spiritual money in unionship. So they're definitely stronger together and compatible. I want to get into their 3 spiritual connections now. So the two of them are carrying a Uranus connection, a Saturn, and a Jupiter. 3 spiritual connections in their charts together. So usually Saturn and Uranus can be tough energies. Uranus is the planet of movement, right? That's why it's associated with profound change. So that energy is having a heavy influence on their life path numbers of 5. So this is why they needed a lot of uprooted environments, challenges, situations in their growing up life, right? So it's a natural inclination in their life through the influences and the energies of Uranus to uproot them in a sense and need to push them into different transitions of their life, hence why they really needed to undergo that sort of negative spiritual challenge of infidelity, so that way they can evolve together individually, but then together in partnership. And so the Jupiter tie for them is ultimately a very good blessing to have. It's a past life deed that they brought into this lifetime, where one of them is going to have to pay the other person off from a debt owed from a previous incarnation. So to me, I'm interpreting this as Beyonce being Jay-Z's karmic positive earned connection. So she's definitely his blessing, and so she had to pay him off, and so that's why they stuck together, because she decided to, okay, accept that moving forward, let's grow from it, because in a past incarnation he has paid her off, and so it was a debt that was owed through his infidelity. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, when we have a Saturn connection in numerology, that can be an interesting connection. It can be a little bit tough to deal with. Saturn's kind of like the stern father. He's always looking at you, observing what you're doing, you know, am I ever good enough in my dad's eyes? That sort of role. Always striving to achieve more. It can be a complicated, challenging connection to have, but when worked with it and dealt with it in a very spiritual light, which the two of them have now come to do, it's very rewarding, because then you can truly reap the rewards from it, which is definitely a karmic love tie that they share together from past life incarnation. And Jay-Z in this incarnation really needed to understand sort of the karmic lessons around love, and Beyonce was his Jupiter repayment in that sort of sense, to kind of help him evolve. But together they grew stronger and they've evolved spiritually. So they definitely are karmic past life soulmates. They're not twin flames and they're not twin souls, but they're soulmates. And so in this incarnation, they're working together to evolve from a spiritual standpoint, which is nice to see that. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's just a brief overview. I mean, obviously there's so much to get into and so much more to talk about, but I just thought you would enjoy that, because folks wanted to know, especially myself, the relationship that Beyonce and Jay-Z carry together, because it's such an interesting and unique one, and it's just testament to show how we can kind of grow from shortcomings if we really apply a very spiritual standpoint and a sense of maturity aspect to the way we go about dealing things. So anyways, if you like this video, please subscribe. Please check out my podcast, Better Work Bitch, on iTunes, but also you can find the link to that in my bio on Instagram at esoteric_Essa. And I would love to hear what you thought about this video. And if you're interested in a divination numerology reading, message me here in the comments or reach out to me on my Instagram. I have a direct link to book a reading. I would love to do that for you. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I need to hit 200. I didn't reach my goal in February of reaching 200 subscribers, but thank you to all of you who are watching this and who did subscribe. All the new subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. We just missed it by 9, so not a big deal. So this March, please help me reach 200. All I need, I think, is like 9 more subscribes. So hit subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm wishing you the very best in this week.